What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Out here riding the OG veteran Sherman, doing just some good cruising, man, on this thing down Big Thompson Canyon and out here on the open road. And this is, man, I wanted to put this at the front of the video because this is what it's all about right here. When you're in the zone on these EUCs, guys, and you can, like, my whole thing is, dude, I love the way it makes you feel like you're flying, especially when you're coming down like a long steady downhill on this thing. That's whenever you're just gliding on electric unicycles, man. Whenever you're coming down a long steady like downhill with like a casual grade to it. You see how I got the river over there to my side? So I'm coming down a canyon right now, so it's just a steady grade going down. And that's whenever you really don't have to put much strain on your legs because you're not really torquing to go up a hill necessarily. And the feeling you get, man, on an electric unicycle when you're riding down a constant downhill like this is just awesome. It just is the most effortless, free gliding feeling you would ever experience. And I've rode motorcycles and skateboards and you name it, wakeboards, everything, even, paraglided and paramotored and all that stuff. And this thing, honestly, man, it really does feel like you're flying. It really does. This right here is where you really feel like you got a personal jetpack, is when you're going downhill and you're just kind of floating. You see that? How it's just real effortless and you just kind of floating, man. And I'm rolling about 45 miles an hour. I'm on my OG veteran Sherman, and I did a long ride on it and had to recharge throughout the day on it. This OG Sherman, guys, I'm starting to notice my just because I've had it for like almost 3 years now, and I've rode it in various conditions and everything like that. I'm getting a lot of range out of it. It's 3,200 watt hours, but it's just not as much as I would want. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting the Sherman S. I think the Sherman S is going to be absolutely stellar. I got some news the other day that the Sherman S is going to be coming in, and guess what, guys? Right before I left to come, I left to go home for the holidays, and I literally got an email I've been waiting for forever, and I felt so bad about it because I literally have been I'm a person that's adamant about getting new wheels, man. I always got time to test new wheels and everything, and I literally never go anywhere. And then finally I got the email I've been waiting for, and it was from eWheel saying, "Hey, Chooch, we got a V13 Challenger sitting right here in the box with your address on it, ready to roll out. Are you going to be there tomorrow to accept it?" And I was like, dude, I literally just left to go home for Christmas. So I was so bummed about it, man. So they ended up sending the V13 over to Marty first, and he's going to do some reviews on the thing. And then once he's finished up with it, he should send it over to me, and I'll be able to get some content on it for you guys. So just I'm super stoked, man. I can't wait. I really was hoping I'd get the Sherman S, and I thought that I'd probably be getting the Sherman S first, but it looks like that they got a V13 in at eWheel, so they're going to be sending that over for review soon. And I'm going to take it up this exact route right here, guys, because this is a route that I really want to see if I can do comfortably. I want to be able to run from Loveland, Colorado up to Estes Park, Colorado and back, because that's kind of where I have to commute now. And it's a long ass way, dude. Like when you're coming all the way out of the mountains up there from Estes Park into Loveland, that is a long, look at that fool coming around the corner, cutting the line right there. But it is a long way to go, you guys. So I really have high hopes for that 3,000 watt hours on the V13 Challenger. If the V13 Challenger can be ridden at like top speed, get me all the way up here into the mountains and then back home without charging, that would be awesome. Like, for instance, on this wheel, I have to come up here and I have to charge. Like if I leave from Loveland and ride to Estes Park, then I have to charge in Estes Park. Even though this is a 3,200 watt hour wheel, just because like I could probably get back down if I went slow, guys, but the thing is I want to be able to ride down the hill fast and not be speed throttled and not just be trying to regenerate the whole time coming back. So if you want to have fun, you need more than like 50% power when you're coming back, and that's kind of the way it's going to be with any electric unicycle out there. Like if you want to do your full ride and never be speed throttled, that's key. And I think for instance, like with the InMotion V13 being 3,000 watt hours, I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I think it's going to be a greatly crafted wheel, and most people, like I say all the time, are just never going to be using 3,000 watt hours in a day anyways. So I think it is just going to be a good wheel for just, heavier set riders, bigger guys out there that want to get on this thing, that want to come from maybe like the motorcycle world into EUCs. And it's just going to be a high quality product that has enough range to do what most people want to do. And I think the V13 is just going to be a safe machine. I think it's going to be a clean looking machine, but I just don't think the watt hours are going to be there, guys. So I'm really looking forward to the Sherman S. I mean, you see that. Like, I seriously just think that, and E-Rides just released some aftermarket pedals. Y'all know those, what are they called? The Iron Man pedals that E-Rides made? They released a set specifically for the Sherman S. And the only thing I saw on the Sherman S, like, I've looked at that thing well over, guys. I looked at all the specs on it. I've looked at every video that's coming out or has come out on that thing, and I'm really impressed with it. And the one thing that turned me off on the Sherman S so much was just the pedals on it, dude. I don't know what conglomeration of shit those pedals are, but E-Rides made completely aftermarket pedals that are just like those nice red and yellow pedals I put on my T4 and recently put on my V12. Those are, they made some that can go on the Sherman S. They're a little bit different. They have like another notch on there to where they can fit those unique Sherman S pedals. So that was the only thing on that wheel I saw that I was kind of, put off by. But now, with there being an aftermarket pedal for it, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be just a sweet all-around wheel. Out of all of them, again, man, that's the one I'm looking at. Like Commander Pro and Sherman S, man. Even though the Sherman S is going to be 100 volts, that's just going to be my cruiser wheel, man. I can't wait to get y'all some content on that thing. But I just want to give y'all a heads up that as soon as I get back from the holidays, guys, literally, by the time y'all see this video, I'm going to be back home. And, man, the content is going to be dropping left and right, guys. So, all the new fast wheels, man, I want to get those reviewed, and I want to do some actual long-haul range rides on it, man, where I'm literally having to take the charger with me and, run them dead, man. So, that's what it's all about. And I love doing rides like this. Now, I want to ultimately get a wheel that's fast enough to keep up with traffic. So, you see how I'm having to ride on the shoulder right here? I ultimately would like a wheel that could go just as fast as the cars and do it safely. So if this wheel, like the reason I'm riding it in the shoulder right now, for example, is simply because I can't ride this wheel fast enough to keep up with traffic at the current battery status it is. So this OG Sherman, if the battery was completely full on this thing, I would probably be able to ride it fast enough in the main road, in the main lane right there, and keep up with all the cars going down, and I would never have to move over, because in my mind, I think it's a little bit more dangerous being on the shoulder right here, because say if anything happens or you go down or anything like that, there's not much time for a car to react if they're that close to you on the shoulder. So in my opinion, if I had a wheel that could go 65 miles an hour comfortably, maybe something like the Master Pro is what I need to look at getting, guys. Something with like that 4,800 watt hours, and it could sustain speed. Like, because I feel like if I had that Master Pro right here, for example, this is where it would shine. I wouldn't have to ride in the shoulder. I could ride it in the main road full speed, because I would still have a ton of watt hours left on these long rides. So that's what those extreme range wheels are for, guys. Because for example, at the end of this road, I come down and I had to literally find a place to charge. I had to pull over at a little place called the Dam Store, and it was a little dam on the side of the road, like a water dam, but they just called it the Dam Store. It's a little I don't know, being funny, but they had a perfect place, a little power strip. And man, if they didn't have that power strip outside, I'd have had to call an Uber or something to get back home, or call somebody to come pick me up, which is never fun. But I took my charger with me, but I just took the whenever I go on rides like this, guys, I need to start taking a fast charger. I just don't like taking the fast charger because the fast charger weighs more in my backpack. but it just does. The fast charger is so much more worth it to take on these type of rides. Like for example, like if you take a 3 amp charger that your wheel ships with, and you're going on these adventures right here, and you need to pull over quick and charge, you really want to have like a 8 amp charger with you, because dude, sitting there waiting for a 3 amp charger, it's just, you're gonna have to sit there for so long somewhere to eat or do or whatever it may be to get any charge. It's ridiculous. So that's why on these long rides, it's better to cut down your weight on all the extra stuff you bring. Literally, like, probably what I'll do next time I'm doing one of these long rides is bring like a water bottle, the bare minimum tools I need, and then the big supercharger, like the big, Mac Daddy fast charger. And then, I mean, that's just the way to do it. Bringing that little 3 amp charger is lighter weight, but it just doesn't do a damn thing once you actually plug it in. So, but anyways, dudes, man, if y'all can get out and enjoy a ride like this, I know it may not be, your typical city riding where you got a lot of action and stopping and going and stuff like that. But stuff like this is great, man. I used to do that city stuff all the time where you're stopping and going and around other people. And yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun being around people in the city and that whole vibe. But this is also, it's just incredible. We can literally adventure ride with EUCs. And we're almost, once we get to the point where I can take this thing out of this shoulder right here and I have enough speed to get it in the main road for the whole distance I want to ride it, and I can ride it at that speed that whole distance, that's going to be the game changer. And I really feel like if I got like a Master Pro, I would love it. Even though the other day when I first saw that thing and was talking about it in my buyer guide, I was like, man, who would get this thing for that price? But it's for stuff like this, man.
When I got there, and still need more range.
So you hear in that little blurb from the main video right there, I said I even charged there and I still need more range, and I'm on my 3200 watt hour Sherman right here, man. And so that's what's worrying a lot of these people, man, so much about that V13 coming out, man, with its size and weight and everything. It's just like, man, why it should have that more watt hours. But I'm excited to test it, guys. I'm going to give y'all the real review on it. I think the V13 is going to come down to this. I think it's going to be just an exceptionally like elegant ride. I think it's going to be so fast, ride really, really good with that suspension and everything. But I just don't think it's going to go very damn far on one charge. And I think it might be there'll be some people out there that still want to get it, though, simply because there's not a lot of people that ride as far as I'm riding, like in this video, in one day. And it's rare that I ever would, use 3,000 watt hours in one day, like I said. And like that's why I love wheels like the InMotion V12, for example, which is only 1,700 watt hours, lighter weight. But dude, you go thinking about this. Go, like, for instance, think about like right now, like how heavy the V12 is, and then think about how heavy the V13 is going to be. Or how heavy the V13 is, because it's in production now, and then think about the watt hour difference. So in the InMotion V12, it's 1,740 watt hours, and the InMotion V13, you're right at 3,000 watt hours, guys. Like I think it's like 3,096 or 46 or something like that. But man, that's for that extra amount of weight. Man, that's adding a ton of extra weight to that wheel, and only adding 1,300 more watt hours to it. I just don't know, man. I really don't. I think it'll be fast, but I don't think you'll be able to ride it fast for very far, or fast very far up big inclines and stuff. So that's one thing I want to see, man. I want to see some like companies like Kingsong and companies like InMotion kind of do what Extreme Bull and B-Goat are doing with their super high-end like long-range wheels. I would love to see that, and I think we will in the future. But if you really think about like super high-end long-range wheels, you got like pretty much B-Goats and the Commander that's coming out, and that's pretty much it. And then the Shermans. I mean, if you want to, OG Sherman and the Sherman S. And then like the Abrams, of course. But if you really think about like long haul wheels, man, like Gode's got that sealed up right now, man, with that Master Pro. The Master Pro, like if this is the type of stuff you're doing, if you're doing any type of, I mean, and this is very rare for the EUC community to do stuff like this, but I think if people saw this as their introduction to EUC, seeing that you can ride long ranges like this and treat it like a motorcycle and stuff, it may intrigue a whole different audience to begin with to get into the hobby. You know, it may intrigue people that want to do stuff deliberately like this instead of just commuting in the city to do like Uber Eats or, you know, going into the office real quick. So that's just kind of, and I just don't think there's a ton of marketing behind like the Master Pro or any of those long range wheels for stuff like this. I think I'd love to make some videos on it, honestly. I probably need to get a Master Pro because I'd love to make some videos on it, thinking about it. But anyway, yeah, see right here, I had to find a spot to charge. Look, because I was beeping coming down that hill, and so I was like, and usually if you pull over somewhere, man, like usually if you pull over to a business or something, like you can find a charger, and if somebody asks you like what you're doing, just like, dude, like tell them straight up, be like, I just need a little charge. It doesn't take much, and I'm just not gonna be able to get back home unless I charge up real quick. They'll understand. They'll completely understand. You know, this place was closing up. I saw the people that owned it leaving as I came over here, and I was like, well, whatever. Just charge real quick. I was able to get enough charge to get back home from this. I'm glad I stopped though. So like thinking ahead was good. I'm glad I pulled in here and started charging instead of getting way down the road somewhere and being like in the middle of nowhere where I just got a field on either side and the things, you know, coming to a complete stop. So if you're ever getting low on battery, you know, think ahead about that and, you know, try to stop somewhere before you run completely out. The best thing to do. But you see I got the little shitty 3 amp charger right here, and it didn't do anything. You plug that thing in, I waited out here for an hour, and I mean I got enough. It was way better than nothing, of course, but it definitely doesn't. Man, if I had the 8 amp charger, I'd have been able to plug that thing in, zoop, plug it in for 15 minutes, dude, and had enough juice to get out of there.
Okay, so found some power. Dude, the Sherman, so that was like, that'd be 75 miles. So I rode all the way up there. The thing that got it is I was going fast the whole time, and it's 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and I was just going fast the whole time, and that drains it so quick. Yeah, I mean, that really does. So, because round trip, it was about 78 miles what I did. So like 30 to the town, and then I went past the town a little bit, came back this way, and then from like right here to home is like another 10 miles or so. So